And we are back. Calgary Flames, Franchise Mode NHL 18. We are in the year of 2020 officially. So welcome to episode number 31 as, yes, we are set to kick off the 2020 calendar year here in the 2019-2020 season. The Calgary Flames have improved in the month of December in the past episode there, in episode 30. It was a much better month. The Flames went 9-2-2 in that month, and we propelled ourselves back into the tops of the Pacific Division. Much better month here in the month of December for the Calgary Flames. Like I said, going 9-2-2. It was highlighted by a 6-game road trip in which we picked up 11 of a possible 12 points on a 6-game roadie. So pretty good month for the Calgary Flames. It was a pretty bad month of November. Again, if you watch the previous episodes, you'll know that it was a pretty poor month of November. A good start to October, a very good December, but a poor November that really hampered things. There's no reason really we shouldn't be tops of our division and really of the NHL. Our division is the strongest division by far, and we are atop of that, or we are in the top conversation of our division. I'm just going through this quickly so you can see here the Kings beating us in the first official game of 2020. They beat us by a score of 5-3, divisional rival. I don't like to see that. The reason I'm just kicking right off here is because I want to see if we can just hammer through both January and February. January is a very light month for us, so there should be no reason we shouldn't be able to get through January and February. Not a good night there for Gibson, 8-7-2. But if we can get through both of those months in this episode to get ourselves right up against the trade deadline, that would be huge. If we could just hammer through that. Again, a very light month of January coming up. I guess I should show you that. But we do drop our first game of the month of January, 5-3 at the hands of the LA Kings. But you can see here, we have our bye week right here. So we play Vegas, and we go on our bye week. So really, it's a pretty light month. And then February is not too bad. And trade deadline is right here on the 28th. And there's pretty much like another bye week here right before the deadline. So if we can get ourselves to this game here against the Kings and end the episode there, and then that will give us time to think about what we want to do going into the trade deadline. So let's see if we can hammer through this month. Like I said, again, I'll show you quickly the standings. We are 4th in our division, but we only trail the Coyotes, Canucks, and Oilers by just a few points, 51 points. You can see the Oilers lead our division, 55. Again, you look at the other divisions, our division is the strongest division by far in hockey. So as long as we're staying atop with those top teams there in our division, we're doing pretty good. But we should be able to pull ahead of those top 3 teams there in our division. Vancouver, who was it? Vancouver, Edmonton, was it Vegas as well? I think it was Vegas as well. I gotta go back here and check. But yeah, if we can pull ahead of one of the 2 of those teams and be up top with Edmonton, it's Arizona, excuse me. So Arizona, who's at 52, they're just 1 point ahead. Obviously, Vancouver just 2 points ahead, and Edmonton just 4 points ahead. So if we can keep pace here with those teams, and hopefully get ourselves ahead of the ball here. So let's play our final game before our mandatory 5-day break here. So we got the Vegas Golden Knights. We are in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. Eric Hall getting it 1-0. We come back with 2 goals here in the second. Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau beating Marc-Andre Fleury. Can we pull away and get the win here in the third? Yes, we do. 3 huge goals. Monahan, Neal, Versteeg. I like that. 5-1, no need to look at the stats there. That was a pretty dominant game by the Calgary Flames in Vegas. What a way to go into the bye week. But then it comes out of the bye week with 2 huge games against Vancouver in a span of a week. You can see that we got Minnesota and Carolina as well. But Vancouver is that team that is just 2 points ahead of us. So if we can win both of those games, that could be huge for us. So just a quick incoming trade here. They want to give us a 6th, a 4th, and Yannick Weber for a 4th and Gabriel Jones. Let's just quickly take a look at this trade. I don't think we're going to do it, but just take a quick look at it. It does slightly favor us. I mean, they really want to give us a 4th, and the 4th cancels out, so they really want to give us Yannick Weber and a 6th for Gabriel Jones. Yannick Weber, 76 offensive defenseman, 31 years of age. What's his contract like, though? Not too bad of a contract there, 910. This might not be a bad move for us. I'm not going to accept it right now. You can see again Gabriel Jones, low top 9 potential. I'm not going to accept this now, but as we get closer to the deadline, like I said in this video, if we would hurry up, I probably, like I'm just thinking about it right now, where our biggest need is this year at the deadline, and I think it's going to be adding some depth to both the forward and defensive position, but especially in that third pairing. Rasmus Anderson, Slater Cuckoo, and Oliver Chillington keep rotating there. I mean, if we can find a way to get another veteran defenseman down there to help ourselves out, that could be huge. So Jake Bean's got 1-0 through 40 minutes of play here. Can we hang on? Like I said, this is a huge divisional game for us. We need this one against Vancouver. Please hang on, Calgary. We do. Christopher Stieg adds likely an empty net. John Gibson picks up the shutout for the Calgary Flames, and it's a 2-0 win. That's a huge win. We should be able to have jumped the Vancouver Canucks now with that win, because we do not give them any points, and we get 2 points, despite what they did, though, on our bye week. So let's take a quick look here at the standings before we move forward. Other teams may have pulled ahead of us because of the bye week. And no, actually, we pulled ahead. So I think all the teams won on the bye week at the same time in our division, except for Arizona. They seem to be they're 2 games ahead of us. But we do pull to 55. So that win against Vancouver was huge. We keep them at 54. We pass them. We pass Arizona. We're now second in our division. You can see Edmonton at 59. We're at 55. So we still have some work to do if we want to catch Edmonton. But we need to keep on winning those divisional games. We got another one against the Vancouver Canucks coming up here. We got to find a way to win that in regulation as well. But we got to pick up points in the meantime here against Minnesota and Carolina. So first period in Mini, nothing. Second period, there we go, Johnny Gaudreau. Third period, they scored 3 unanswered goals. Looked like we were on our way to another shutout, 1-0 through 40 minutes of play, and then they come back with 3 goals there in the third period. So take a quick look at this one and where we went wrong there in the third. -2 for Giordano Hamilton, our top pairing. Nothing you can really do there. And John Gibson, 903. So Gibson stays above 900 on that one. It's just a pretty bad period for us. We probably take the period off. They score 3 unanswered. We lose the game. So that is not good. Let's see if we can bounce back here against the Carolina Hurricanes. So we're kind of 2 for 2 here in the month of January. Again, it is an abbreviated month, but let's see if we can continue to keep those records. Like I said, 9-2-2 last month. Let's see if we can keep those records up there as well. First period, we get the only goal. James the Real Deal Neal beats Scott Darling. That's what we like to see. Second period, they tie it up. Justin Braun, do we pull away in the third? Come on, Calgary, it's tied. Lindholm and Tavares score. So we're going to overtime. Do we have an overtime goal in us? Come on, Flames, we do. It's Sean Monahan, Mr. Overtime, although in this franchise mode, Mr. Overtime's really been John Tavares for us the last couple seasons, but it's good to see Monahan still chipping in those game-winning goals in overtime here and there. So that's what you like to see. 9-2-6 for John Gibson. Much better night there for Gibson. So let's keep on going. So that is huge to pick up another win there in overtime. But now we've got the Vancouver Canucks. So just like we did a week ago, we have to find a way to win this game in regulation. We can't give the Canucks any points. We're trying to battle with them. We got to pull away from them. We got to separate ourselves a little bit from them. This is the game that we can do that. So here we go. Big game here. First period, nothing. Second period, they get the only goal. Mike Hoffman, the former Senator. Do we tie it up and preferably pull away in the third period? Come on, Flames. We do tie it up. Spencer Fu, our rookie, ties it up. So they do get a point. We get a point. Do we get that all-important, very important second point for the Flames? Come on, Calgary in overtime. Nothing. Come on, Calgary in the shootout. We do. We get the shootout winner off the stick of John Tavares. But they do get a point out of it. So that is not good. Not much to look at here because it was just a 2-1 shootout win. And 9-5-8 there for Gibson. So yeah, not good that we gave them a point, but it is good that we got the 2 points. So that's 2 back-to-back wins against the Vancouver Canucks, though. So that's huge. Here's another divisional game. Anaheim was a team that was just below us as well, that we just passed here at the beginning of this month. So we have to find a way to win this game in regulation as well and get the 2 points. We can't give the Ducks any life either. We got to start separating ourselves from some of these teams so we can stay atop with Edmonton in our division. So first period, Calgary Flames, they score, we score. Patrick Eves, Sean Monahan. Second period, come on, Flames. There we go. Johnny Gaudreau, do we hang on in the third period? And we do. We do. We score 3, they score 2. Perry, Pominvale, but Brody, Bean, and Johnny Gaudreau, his second of the hockey game, and the Flames do propel themselves to a 5-3 win. Excuse me. So much better night there for the Calgary Flames. A few players in the minuses. Our third line, along with Rasmus Anderson, or I should say our fourth line, I believe that is 8-8-0 for John Gibson. So that's not good. He's been a little bit inconsistent this month. Gibson has been by far our best player all season long. and our most steady player. So we got to make sure that he stays on track there. So Chris Versteeg gets injured in that game. I didn't even see when he'll be back, but nevertheless, he is injured on the fourth line. Versteeg's actually struggled quite a bit this season. I was actually thinking of taking Versteeg out at one point and bringing in Stepniak anyway, because he has been our probably our worst player up front in terms of plus minuses on our offense. So that's I mean, you don't want to lose any player to injury, but we were probably going to take Versteeg out anyway. So that's not a huge loss for us at all. We get the Penguins coming in here, so let's see if we can continue with the points. Let's see if we can continue to accumulate points here as we get near the end of the month of January already. And then the month of February coming up here. So first period here against the Pens, we do get on the board. It's the former Penguin, James the Real Deal Neal, but they also score Phil the Thrill. Second period, come on Calgary Flames. Oh, they get 3. We do get one from Goudreau, who stays hot, but Malkin, Hornquist again. I don't suppose we have 2 goals in the bag here in the third period to at least force overtime. Come on Calgary Flames. We do get 1, but they get 2 more, so that's not going to help. Crosby and Hornquist completes the hat trick. Jake Bean for us, so that's not a good night for the Calgary Flames at all. Let's go here, plus minuses. So -3 for Lee Stepniak. He comes in the lineup and becomes a -3, so that's not good. Giordano Hamilton, Mangiapane, Cedric Parquet, Bean Brody. So some other guys down there as well. Not a good night. Actually, Anton Khudobin comes in here in relief of John Gibson, probably because he led in 4 goals on 10 shots, or on 14 shots, excuse me. So they probably, that doesn't look like it's an injury, but we might give Khudobin a game here. Maybe Gibson just needs a little bit of rest here in January. Let's see, we got Colorado, who's 500. So why don't we give Khudobin that game there against the Avalanche. So Versteeg is ready to play. I'm going to put Versteeg back in only because Lee Stepniak was a -3 in that game, and that was not good. So let's put Versteeg right back in to that fourth line, but if he continues to struggle, then we'll bring Stepniak or somebody else back in there as well. So let's go out of here. And let's put Khudobin in for a game here against the Avalanche, because Gibson struggled in that game against the Penguins, obviously. He got the hook. But has been slightly inconsistent this month, for his standards at least. So let's give Khudobin a game here. Continue to watch and keep Gibson's games played to a realistic standpoint as well. So you can see we are now top of our division. We are tied with Edmonton there. 61 points is what it is. Both teams have played 48 games. Identical record, 29, 16, and 3. So I don't know what, we must have more row wins, regulation overtime wins. That must be why we are ahead of Edmonton, but we are tied with them. So let's see if we can get the points here and continue to stay atop of our division and likely atop of the NHL. We'll check the standings at the end of this month. But let's play this game against Colorado with Khudobin in net. See if we can get the W. First period, we do get a goal. Brody, second period. Lots of scoring here. It's tied at 3. Neal and Tavares for us. Mikko Rantanen, Jost, and Barry. Do we get the win in the third period? Come on, Calgary Flames. And it's tied. Neal and Landeskog. So overtime, Calgary Flames. Nothing. Shootout Flames. No, they get it. So Thomas Hickey does score, the former New York Islander, in the shootout. So we do pick up a point here. But we do drop a point there to the Avalanche in the shootout. So let's just take a look here. Points-wise, 3-point night for Neal, 2 for Brody and Wheeler. When we're looking at the plus-minuses here, Anderson in the minuses, along with some guys there on the third line. So 8.75 for Anton Khudobin. Not the best night for him, but that was giving Gibson a night off. So let's put Gibson back in. And we got the Red Wings coming up. So. But we continue to stay tied. It looks like Edmonton also picked up 1 point there, so we continue to stay tied with them at 62 points. It could be a battle for the top spot in the Pacific Division, for a battle of Alberta, excuse me. It could be, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Battle of Alberta for the top spot in the Pacific Division. And that would be really cool, because that has not happened since the heydays of the 1980s. So that could be something special in Alberta, if the Oilers and the Flames are not only dominating the top of the Pacific, but likely the top of the NHL. Like I said, our division is the best division in hockey. So that'll be interesting to to see if those two teams finish near the top, and we are battling with them for a top spot. So let's go to the States here. Let's do the forwards for 5 weeks. I believe we've done the forwards now in all of the CHL leagues and now the American League, and then we'll go back and do defensemen and so on. So let's get Detroit here. So we did put Gibson back in goal. Let's see if we can get the points here against the Detroit Red Wings. Dylan Larkin versus Mark Jankowski, first period. And Matthew Tkachuk scores. Andres Athanasiou as well. So let's go to the second period. They get 2 huge goals. Marcus Johansson and Sevenikov, I believe. I don't know. Anyways, let's see if we can get 2 goals and tie it up in the third period. Come on, Flames. Nothing. They beat us 3-1. So not liking that one. I believe Detroit was a bottom team too. Got to find a way to win those ones. Take a look here. Tavares a -2. That's not good. And not really much going on here. Gibson in his return goes at 909. So not the best night, but he does stay above 900 for John Gibson in his return. But we'll give him the final game of the month, of course, against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we head to the ACC for a battle with the Leafs, 22-21-4. This is the reigning a 2-time President's Trophy winning team right here, winning team. They got, I believe they got a first round exit last season, but they did go on and win the Stanley Cup season prior in 2018, was it? Yeah, 2018 they won the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy. 2019, obviously the Lightning won the Stanley Cup, but they also won the President's Trophy, the Leafs did, and then here they are this year. So let's see if they are looking for their 3rd straight President's Trophy. Dion Phaneuf scores the only goal in this one. We got 20 minutes left. Do we tie it up? Come on, Flames. We do. We find a way to tie it up. Jankowski and Mangiapane. Matthews ties it up once again, so we're going overtime. Can we pull away with the OT winner in the shootout, possibly? And we do. We get the shootout win there. Hamilton and Jake Bean score for us in this one, so that is good. We win the final game of the month of January. We do give a point to the Leafs, but it doesn't matter. It's an Eastern team. But we do pick up a huge win there against Toronto, in the shootout. So finding a way to win these games. I know it's not going to count to our tiebreaker, the ROW win column, but finding a way to win those games, even in the shootout, I'll take them. That's what we need to do. So quick look here. They want to give us a 6th, and this guy here for Pitlick. Or no, they want to give us Pitlick, excuse me, for that guy in a 6th. I don't really want Pitlick, so I'm going to just decline this trade. Okay, so here we go, month of February. So there is trade deadline. This is a slightly much busier month than January was, but you can see if we can get ourselves up to this game against LA here. What are we looking for time? We should have lots of time left in this episode. But yeah, we do. But let's get ourselves in there. What do we go in January? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we go 6. Just quickly adding up here how many losses. 1, 2, 3, 6, 3, and 2. 6, 3, and 1. Just looking. 6, 3, and 1. I believe we go in January. So that's not too bad. Not as good as 9, 2, and 2 against in the month of December, I should say. But 6, 3, and 1 still not bad for the month of January. So let's see if we can just continue. We did pull ourselves to number 1 in our division in that month of January. So let's see if we can just continue to stay afloat here in February. So we do stay tied with the Edmonton Oilers for top spot in our division with 64 points, but they've played one less game than us, so they do own the tiebreaker in that category. Just looking at it, Coyotes 62 points, they're just 2 points back of us. The Canucks 59, so it's nice to see that we have those 2 games against the Canucks that we won both of them, and we only allowed them 1 point, really helped us separate ourselves from them. So that's good to see that we're getting separation from them. And Anaheim, who's down there at 54, but Arizona is on our tail at 62, and we are tied deadlocked with Edmonton. So another important month here ahead of us if we obviously want to stay atop with Edmonton and stay atop of our division. So here we go, Tampa Bay Lightning start the month of February off. with a 31-12 and 7 Tampa Bay Lightning. So first period here, James Neal, that's good to see. Second period, Brandon Montour. Here we go. Third period, do we have the W in us? And it's tied once again. Stamkos beats his former netminder John Gibson. Spencer Fu scores for us, beating Andrei Vasilevsky, and it's tied at 2. Overtime right here. Flames shootout. Flames, and they get 2. Kucherov and Stamkos. So we do pick up 1 point in this one, but we do drop a point to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So finding a way to get points out of it. I would just like to get 2 now. If we can focus on getting 2 points, that'd be great. Not much to see in this one. Gibson goes 9-2-3 against his former team, the team that he helped win the Stanley Cup with. Also, that was John Gibson's first game back in Tampa Bay since winning the Stanley Cup, so I'm sure he got some kind of ovation there. Of course, we did play the Lightning like one of the first games of the season. We did face the Tampa Bay Lightning, so it wasn't the first rematch since Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, but it was Gibson's first game back in Tampa Bay since Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Actually, Game 7 was in Calgary, but you know what I mean. Since Gibson won a Stanley Cup with that organization against us just a few months ago. So now we got a mini 2-game road trip here through Buffalo and Florida, of all places. So here we go, Sabres Flames, 1-0 Ristolainen in the first. Second period, nothing. Come on, Calgary, we got to find a way to get points out of this one. Third period, and we do tie it up, so we're going to overtime once again. Wheeler and Tavares. Molson ties it up. Do we have the OT winner in us? We do. TJ Brody gets it in overtime, so that's huge. Battling back and finding a way to get 2 points in this one. That's what I like to see. I won't even look at the stats in that one, but that's what I like to see. Finding a way to battle back in these games and win them, especially against the Eastern teams. It does not matter if we give these teams like Toronto, Tampa Bay, Buffalo. If we give these teams points, I don't care. Just as long as we get the 2 points. So here's another Eastern team, the 25-16-10 Florida Panthers. Can we find a way to get W in this one as well? And then we got the Kings and Ducks coming up, so 2 divisional opponents. But let's get through Florida here first. First period, Spencer Fu, he's staying hot this season. Beats Luongo 1-0 Flames. A second period, they get 2. Jonathan Huberdeau and Tommy Wingels. That was second period. Third period here, do we find a way to, again, tie it up and force overtime? We don't. We get 2, but they also get 2. So Giordano and Mangiapane try to make a comeback out of it late, but 2 goals from Barkov and Bukestad are enough to propel the Panthers to a 4-3 win against us in regulation, so that's not good. Let's just see where we went wrong in this one. Nobody in the minuses, or we didn't, that was points, excuse me. -2 for Dougie Hamilton, -1 for Mark Giordano, so that's the top pairing again. Mangiapane, Versteeg, Monahan, Neal, so yeah, a bunch of players here in the minuses. And 8-8-2, so not a good night for Gibson. His struggles once again continue in this one. But that's just one game. Let's see if we can shake it off here against the divisional opponents in the LA Kings. But yes, we are about almost halfway through the month here. So 31-18-5 is our record. Let's see if we can keep on winning. Let's see if we can keep on picking up points. We're not going to win them all, but we got to win as many as we can if we want to stay atop the NHL and our division. I know I said that a lot this episode, but we have to do it. It's the reality of the grind of the season that we are in right now. So we got to find a way to win these games. So third period here, they get the only goal. They beat John Gibson for the only goal of the hockey game. They beat us 1-0. So that's not good. Our offense has dried up slightly these last couple of games. So that is not good. Obviously, good night for Gibson, 9-7-1. But offense has dried up just a little bit. I mean, we only, well, I guess not the last couple of games, but we got shut out there, which is a very rare sight to see. But that is back-to-back losses in regulation for the Flames. We've actually dropped 3 of our last 4. So we got to find a way here to start picking up the wins again and start stringing the wins together. Shaky start to the month of February for the Calgary Flames, but another divisional opponent awaits in the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. So let's, I think that's a much better name, Anaheim Mighty Ducks than Anaheim Ducks. So they should have stuck with the Mighty Ducks. First period here, Flames and Ducks, Ritchie and Ennis. Second period, they get the only goal, Matt Calvert. Do we please tie it up in the third period, Calgary? Thank you. That's what we needed. Monahan, Kachuk, and Bean. We not only tie it up, but we get the W. So that is what you like to see. 3 unanswered in the third period for the Calgary Flames, and that is important. So big night there for TJ Brody. He has 3 points, 2 points there for Bean and Neal, 2 points as well for Matthew Tkachuk, and 926 for John Gibson there. Not bad against his real former team this time. He just faced his former team twice. Well, 2 of his former teams. Tampa Bay that he won the Stanley Cup with, but his real former team in the Anaheim Ducks. So that's what we like to see. Of course, he spent his whole career up till trade deadline last year with the Anaheim Ducks. And then he went on to win a Stanley Cup and a Conn Smythe with Tampa Bay against us. No big deal. So here is a waiver claim. So this is what I like to see. We have not seen any waiver claims yet this season. But this is a guy that is a fourth liner. So let's just take a quick look at him. Player info. These guys are free, basically. You just claim them off waivers. So that's why I like to claim these guys. He does have $1 million on his salary. Only a one-way contract. So that could be a problem because, I mean, he would just have to clear waivers like he is now. He's a fourth liner, 76 overall. I mean, we could use him for depth help in the AHL, so I'm going to claim him. I don't think he's going to start with us in the NHL, but we could use that help in depth-wise, in the AHL. So we'll put him in the lineup eventually. Let's get to Montreal here, and sim this one. 30, 22, and 1. So good season so far for the Habs. Let's see if we can get the win here in the Bell Center. First period, Wheeler and Silverberg. Second period, nothing. And third period, come on, Calgary Flames. Oh my God, they score. Alex Galchenyuk beats Gibson, and they score, or they win, 2-1. So again, not a good night for our offense. Kind of dries up a little bit in this one. And the shaky month of February kind of continues here. We need to find ways to score goals here. So a 9.38 for John Gibson. I'm wondering if maybe... Oh, so James Neal's just been injured. He won't return till the 24th. I was just going to say maybe we should make the lineup changes. I guess we are now. So 24th, that's not good. What are we? We're about halfway through the month. So Spencer Fu, no doubt about it. He's going to come up and play with Monahan and Tkachuk. He's had a really good season. Rastig will put up there with Jankowski and Ennis. And we got Stepniak. Who else do we have scratched here? Derek Roy. Let's give Roy some time. We'll put Roy in there. I just put him in all of Neal's lines, which shouldn't be too bad. Let's put somebody else here in the power play. Tkachuk, Wheeler. Who do we got on the power play here? Gaudreau, Tavares, Monahan, Giordano Hamilton, Brody Bean. Who's missing from the power play besides Neal? Not really anybody. I guess we don't have much depth down there. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess he can play the power play. It's not going to matter. It's only for a couple games. So let's just fix that one lineup change right here in the extras, which is 3-on-3. Put somebody random here. That is not... I don't think Brody is in any 3-on-3. He's not. So Brody with Bean and Wheeler. But that's not good. So 24th, that's about... well, that's going to get us right up to right here, till the end of this episode. So we've lost James Neal for till the end of this episode, till just before trade deadline. But we do make minor changes to tweak with our lineup till then. So Dallas Stars, here we go. Let's play this one. Oh, shit, did I click play? I meant to click sim. No, I clicked sim. Okay, good. Okay, so in Dallas, first period, they get 2. We get 1 Monahan, but Sagan and Faska score for them. Second period, come on, Calgary Flames. Oh, my God. Okay, so Ben again, and Faska again, and then Ennis and Parquet score for us. So, can we find a way to tie this one in the third period? We just need 2 more goals to tie it. Come on, Calgary Flames. No, they get 2 more. Versteeg does get 1, but they get 2 more. So, not a good night. We just get routed by the Stars, 7-4. That is horrible. There's no reason we should have lost this one. Let's see who had a bad night. Blake Wheeler, -5. Holy crap. Johnny Gaudreau, -3. Dougie Hamilton, -2. So that top line really struggling. And top pairing in Hamilton, Brody, and Giordano. So it was our top guys out there. They just got... Look at that. Like, and not even a point. Hamilton was the only member of that top starting 5, unless you include Giordano, who got a point. Like, that is horrible. So just a really bad night for our top line, and a bad night for John Gibson. Hadobin has to come in relief. I'm not going to make changes because it's our top line, and they've been our most consistent line, and they are our best line. They're probably one of the best lines in hockey, so I'm not going to make too many changes, but that can't continue with our top line. So trade with the Stars that we just played. They want to give us a fourth. They want our third, excuse me, give us a fourth, Janmark fifth, a sixth. They basically want to give us a bunch of depth picks for Gabriel Jones and a third. A lot of teams seem to want Gabriel Jones, so again, I'm going to decline this right now. One, I don't need more draft picks back, but two, let's see what other teams are interested in giving us offers just before the deadline. If we can get, a good trade, like I said, I think we're going to be looking for depth players, so we can get some good depth players for Gabriel Jones and maybe some picks. That might not be bad. So, St. Louis Blues, Calgary Flames, first period. That's better. Tavares and Giordano, so those starting five get 2 goals after a horrible night there against Dallas. 2 goals from the top line and top pairing. Second period. Oh my God, they get 2, but we do get 1 from Johnny Gaudreau. So it's Shen and Tarasenko. Do we hang on in the third? Come on, Calgary. We do. We find a way to hang on. Fu and Wheeler score for us, and we go 5-3. So our top line with a much better night. I think almost everybody on that line scores. So that's obviously what you like to see there. No, good night all around for the Calgary Flames. Let's just take a quick look here at the plus minuses. So yeah, not much there. And John Gibson, a much better night, going 9-0-3. So that was just a bad game, I think, against Dallas. You're going to get those games every season. Even the top teams in the league are going to get games like that where you get routed 7-4. But you just don't like to see too many of those games. It's been a very kind of a shaky month for us here in February. Kind of inconsistent like November was. But if we can just continue to find a way to stay atop of our division. So here's a big incoming trade. I'm just gonna edit trade so we can look at the actual screen here. They want to give. They want our second and our third in 2021 and 2020 respectively for Jason Garrison, a fourth, and Grabowski. So I don't know. I don't know about Garrison's salary. 3.6. That's a lot of salary to eat. We'd be right up against the cap, obviously, as you can see, as well as Grabowski, 1.75. Grabowski's nothing special, 76 overall. We definitely don't need that, 36 years of age. Garrison is an 81, but again, I'm not fancy on that salary. 2 years left at 3.6. Yeah, so plus 2, does have 8 points. Would be a huge add to our defense. Our defensive depth, excuse me, but I don't want to do that trade because I don't want to take on 3.6. If they retained half of his salary, I might have considered it. I didn't want Grabowski anyway. Had no need for him, and giving up in second and a third, it was a lot for that. So decline that one. But it's good to see trades are starting to come in now that we are just around the corner from trade deadline. That's good to see. So they have Sharks, have a 3-1 lead. Do we pull back here in the third period, tie the game up? We do get 1, but it's not enough. Mangiapati scores, but we do drop this one. So very inconsistent month of February, so this is not good. As we are heading into trade deadline, our inconsistency once again taken over, just like it did in the month of November. Good thing for us, though, usually is these only last for about a month, but that's not good to see. We've dropped quite a few games here, including 3 of our last 4 here in the month of February. So let's just we got 3 games left before the deadline. So we'll play 3 more games here: Nashville, Edmonton, and LA. Let's see if we can pick up a 6 out of a possible 6 points in these games. I would love to win on a 3-game winning streak here, or end this episode, on a 3-game winning streak. Especially that game against Edmonton, we have to win because that's the team we're fighting with. So let's play this Nashville game first. So Sean Monahan scores 1-0 Flames. They get a goal. Ryan Johansson. Do we pull away here in the third period? Come on, Flames. No, shit. Okay, so Philip Forsberg. So we just dropped 4 of our last 5. So this is not good. And we are heading into Edmonton now. So we're gonna make some minor changes here. Nobody in the plus minuses. What was it? Gibson 9-5 also. Pretty good night for John Gibson. They did fire like 40 shots at him. But we've just dropped 5 of our last. Okay, so Wheeler has been injured. So we've just lost Wheeler. We're still without James Neal. So we're starting to drop, some of our top bodies especially on our right wing, are starting to drop like flies. So let's put Versteeg up there. Keep Fu with Monahan. You know what? Put Fu up there. Versteeg there. We are, yeah, we're running pretty thin here. Yes, we got 2 guys out right now, so we have to bring in Lee Stepniak. I didn't even see how long it said Wheeler's out for. But let's put Stepniak in there, so you can see our right side is looking pretty damn weak right now. So let's get to this Edmonton game right now. We should get Neil back just after this Edmonton game. Or right now, multiple players are now eligible, so that might be good. Is both Wheeler and Neil ready to come back? So that could be good. So Stepniak, you can come back out. Yes, both Wheeler and Neil. Okay, so that's huge. We got both Wheeler, and Neil back. So that is good. So let's put Blake Wheeler back. Blake Wheeler back in. Get him back up there to Tavares and Goodrow, and then we will take Derek Roy out, and we'll put James Neal back in. Back with Monahan and Kachuk. We'll bump Fu back to his usual line there on the 3rd line, and Versteeg back down there. So that's much better. I'm happier now. Okay, so now we've got Edmonton here. So we got to find a way to win these last 2 games. Pacific Division teams in Edmonton and LA. Let's see if we can find a way to win these final 2 games before the deadline. That could be huge. So where are we in the standings? We have dropped, and I'm not kind of surprised because it was a pretty inconsistent month. But Vancouver, meantime, pulls ahead of everybody, and by a wide margin, 77 points for the Canucks. We are now 6 points back. At one point this episode, we were tied with Edmonton consistently for first in our division. Now we sit 3 points back of Edmonton, but we sit 6 points back of the Canucks. My God. So this game against Edmonton is obviously massive because we cannot afford to let them go 5 points ahead of us. We got to pull within a point here. We cannot allow that. They have 2 games in hand on us as well. Vancouver's got 1 game in hand. So we've got to start making up, start winning getting these points because they have games in hand on us, and they're sitting 2 and 6 points up on us respectively. So we got to find a way here. Arizona's still on our tail, but we got to worry about catching Edmonton and Vancouver. So we have to get this win in regulation here against Edmonton. This is probably as close to a must-win as we will see in our part of the season because we cannot afford now to start dropping back from these teams. So first period, come on Flames. Oh my God, Ryan Strome scores. Okay, second period, Flames tie it up. Jesus H. Christ. Okay, McDavid twice, Gaudreau. Find a way to tie this up in the 3rd. We have to get points out of this one. Calgary, come on. Jesus. So Ennis scores, but so does Nolan, and McDavid scores the hat trick, of course. Who else to score the hat trick but Connor McDavid? And they beat us. So they are now 5 points clear of us. Vancouver still 6, unless they won as well. That's not good. That was a game we had to have. Giordano, Tavares, Wheeler in his return. Gibson, poor night. What are you doing, John Gibson? 810 save percentage. Just not good. So what a horrible month of February. January was January was decent. It wasn't the best month. It wasn't in December, but February, my God. So we're gonna have questions going into the trade deadline for sure. Probably, like I said, still depth, but that's not good. So okay. Fuck off, Dallas. I don't want to see this right now. I don't want that guy. Let's just see if we can finish this episode off with a damn win. Like just 1 win. That's all we need right now, just to finish off the episode. Let's get 2 points to finish this frickin' episode. Pissing me off. Okay, first period, Jeff Carter. Second period, we've tied the game up, Wheeler. Come on, Calgary. Get 2 points in this one. Third period. Oh my God, Gus Nyquist. Are you kidding me, Nyquist? Unbelievable. That is just unreal. Oh. We just finished the damn month on a 4-game losing streak. We just dropped 6 of our last 7 games in the month of February. Oh, that is incredible. That is an incredible stretch. Look at from this Montreal game. Dallas, we won the one in St. Louis, and we drop it to San Jose, Nashville, Edmonton. All by scores of like 2-1. Look at that. The last 3 games, 2-1, 2-1. Or Edmonton was 5-2, excuse me. But 2-1 here, 3-2 there. It's like, oh my God. They've been 1-goal games, 2-1 against Montreal. I mean, like, that's just, oh. What a horrible way to end the episode. And because of it, we have dropped in our standings to a 3rd. Arizona now just 1 point back of us. We are 4 points back of Edmonton, and a good 8 points back or 7 points back there of Vancouver. Oh my God, that's just not good. 8 points back. and they have 2 games on hand on us. Edmonton and Vancouver each have 2 games in hand on us. So that's not good. Obviously, that's a horrible way to end the episode off, as on a 4-game losing streak, dropping 6 of our last 7 games. But we do just that. So let's end this episode by looking at our lines here, as we are now heading into the trade deadline. So we got 2 guys here that are nagging injuries. They're returning from injuries. But that's what our top 6 looks like. I still like our top 6. I think it's still one of the most elite top 6. We have dried up in terms of offense in the last couple weeks. But I still believe this is the top 6 that will win you a championship. So I'm going to obviously stick with this top 6. Down here, Spencer Fu has had an incredible season. Mark Jankowski, Tyler Ennis. I think that's a stable 3rd line, but we could use help down here, and especially on the 4th line. I wouldn't mind getting some help down here, for sure. Let's just take a look here. 11 goals, 16 assists, plus 5 for Spencer Fu. 7 goals and 10 assists, minus 3 for Jankowski. So, I really wonder about Mark Jankowski. We have been trying to grow this guy for the last 2-3 seasons. He's now 25 years of age, and yes, he still has medium top 6 potential, but he's only about 2 to 1 year away from plateauing, and he's only 79 right now as it is. I was hoping that this would be a guy that, when we were growing him, that would reach about the mid-80s, at least around 84 is what I projected him to be. 79, who knows if he grows, he probably will grow a little bit to at least an 80, but still, I wonder about Mark Jankowski. You can see there, minus 3. Tyler Ennis has been really steady on this line as well. He started obviously as just a sign and fill in for our bottom 6. But you can see he's pretty good compared to this 4th line. This is where I think our biggest problem is. We'll start with Cedric Parquet, who was so sturdy for us last year on the 4th line there. Minus 14, as you can see, just 5 points in that span. You go to his right side, there's Chris Versteeg, the veteran, really has not had a good year as well. Minus 12, and he is making a 1.4 million for the next 2 years. And then Andrew Mangiapane, who was just so good for us. Was supposed to be our top prospect coming in to what was it, this year or the year before? This year, as his first full season, and he's just really disappointed with only 13 points there and minus 16. He was actually on that 3rd line with Jankowski, but he just wasn't playing well. We obviously had to bump him down for Tyler Ennis. So there's a lot of questions when it comes to this bottom 6, and that's what we're going to address here in the trade deadline here in the next episode, in episode 32. When it comes to our D, just quick look here. I just want to just look at this bottom. Obviously our top 4 is our top 4. You can see already, though, look at Mark Giordano, 83. Don't forget, he started the year at 86. Last year, he was in 87. He has dropped significantly, and we expected that out of Giordano. Still plus 9, though. Still putting up the points, playing alongside Dougie Hamilton. So there's no doubt about it. He's still at 36 years of age, still getting it done. It's just the biggest question is going to be going into next year, during the off season. What do we do? It all depends, of course, what we do this season, but I wonder if this may be the last season for the long-time Flames captain. His cap is just so high, 6.75 mil. Can you imagine what we could free up for that? Another 3 years there. We can't afford Giordano for another 3 years, especially if he's going to decline to 83. So, anyways, that's for the off season. But our top 4 is going to obviously be our top 4. It's down here, where again, I wouldn't mind looking at some depth options down here. 2 points, minus 2 for Slater Cuckoo, and then Rasmus Anderson in about the same amount of time is a plus 3. Oliver Chillington is there as well, but I wouldn't mind adding some veteran presence down here to maybe help stabilize down here. And the only other thing is, when we come to goalies, I just want to take a quick look here, before we end this episode, is Anton Khudobin. Let's go quickly to John Gibson. We know Gibson, is our number 1. You can see there's 60 games played. Usually goalies like this do not exceed that many games this season. We still have pretty much half the season to go. Well, not half, but a good third of the season to go, and he's already hit 60 games. Now, obviously, he's going to eclipse that. Obviously, he's going to play a lot of games for us, but we got to try and bring that number down to try and keep it realistic. He's done really well, a 9.23, despite being very inconsistent in this last month. 9.23 over that span of 60 games. But you look at his counterpart in Anton Khudobin, and we've really haven't been too confident bringing this guy in. He's only played 6 games. But he only has 1 win with an 8.86 save percentage. So, again, I wouldn't mind maybe looking at what options are out there. Maybe we can just, if it doesn't cost a lot, get a small upgrade over Anton Khudobin. I mean, we didn't expect him to come in and win hockey games for us. We literally signed him for nothing in the offseason, just so we had a backup behind Gibson. But I wouldn't mind bringing in a guy that could really help us behind Gibson and maybe give us a little bit more options in this latter half of the season to win some hockey games. So, anyways, we will end this episode here, episode 31. Obviously, a very, very poor month of February. And a so-so month of January has seen the Calgary Flames once again a drop in the standings. There we are, as mentioned, 71 points. So we have a lot of work to do here in the latter half of the season. But when we return in the next episode, it will be trade deadline. As you can see, we are going into the deadline there on the 28th. That's where the red dot is. So we have a few days here to make up our mind of what moves we want to do. I'm going to go take a look at our roster and take a look at the options out there, and then we'll come back in episode 32 with trade options and what we can do to help bolster this team to get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's coming up in episode 32.